Hello everyone, and welcome to this webinar on mild surfactants for personal care. In this session, we will give you insights on our brand new compilation of sulfate-free surfactants and provide you guidance how to find exactly the right mild surfactants for your individual formulation. I'm very glad to have three wonderful speakers with me, colleagues of mine, who will, together with me, guide you through this presentation today. And I'd just like to take a moment to introduce them to you. So we have Luciana Rodriguez, who is a Global Application Development Manager at the Global Competence Center Hair Care. Then on the right, Karina Chalupa, who's our Application and Formulation Specialist located at the Clariant Innovation Center in charge of personal care. Then Sidonie Vollrath, our Global Application Development Manager, equally located at the Clariant Innovation Center and in charge of personal care. And then I'd like to introduce myself very quickly as well. My name is Martina Weidke. I'm the Global Launch Manager for personal care and industrial and home care. So what is important when we talk about mild surfactants? Or should I better ask, what should sulfate-free surfactant provide in today's formulations? Well, first of all, there is a strong relation to the big megatrends, of course. For instance, we see the free-from movement, which we need to provide answers to. Then there is also a strong call for new formats pointing into the direction of saving water or even water less. And this brings me to the big topic, also trend on sustainability, which mostly covers, of course, naturality, but goes far more beyond that nowadays. And then there is a strong mega trend on sensitive skin, which is connected to our aging population trend. And last but not least, end consumers simply want to be provided with an individual sensorial experience. So, mild surfactants need to answer to all of those trends, but they need to do much more than this. As a matter of fact, the choice of your surfactants significantly influences several important parameters of your formulation. Starting with mildness, of course, but also then looking at foam, skin or hair cleansing, and the big topic around conscious beauty. Now that we have clarified what mild surfactants need to deliver, we are moving on to the how. And this comes along with challenges. And these kind of challenges mild surfactants need to overcome in every individual formulation. Starting with foaming, for instance, which foam profile fits with your final application? Or moving on to sensory, are you rather looking for a clean skin feel or a conditioning after feel? Viscosity, of course, is a big topic as well, same like cost or reduced complexity of a formulation. And then we have mildness also of skin and of eyes, a caring formulation. Last but not least, the big area around what we call here natural comes into play too. Are you looking for an RCI above 50 or even above 80 or 100%? And what about ethical labels compatibility? So yes, there are a lot of challenges. With regard to the cleansing process, for instance, several factors need to be looked at to meet your performance goals. And then there is the question of how to provide an enjoyable sensorial experience as well. In order to enable the right choice for your ideal mild surfactants, we've put together data around technical parameters for all our 26 mild surfactants. These are covering areas such as chemical class, of course, charge, CMC, pore point, and others. This data is then complemented by application details. Here we're looking into mildness, a specific foam profile, salt thickening, and so on and so forth. Finally, the last pillar helps you to really make your choice. We deliver a distinct sustainability profile and key formulation benefits accompanied by a foam sensory classification and foam morphology. And with this, you have all the tools in your hands to find the perfect match for your formulation. We've already talked quite a lot about sustainability and this conscious beauty trend. I'm very proud today to announce that all of our mild surfactants fulfill at least 3 of the most desired sustainability benefits. All of them have a minimum renewable carbon index of 50%. All of them are readily biodegradable, and all of them are available as RSPO mass balanced certified products. Naturally, all these information can also be looked up in our regulatory and eco-label guidance tool, where you found many more details around ethical labels, compatibility, RCI, or regulatory information. Let's stay one more moment with the topic around RSPO mass balance certification. There are rather well-known benefits why it's useful to switch. For instance, it validates the sustainable sourcing and zero deforestation claims. It also increases your real share of certified palm material. But then there is another argument which might be rather new to you. The switch to RSPO mass balance can actually significantly reduce your product carbon footprint. So why is that? RSPO certification ensures that the palm-based raw material supplied has a more sustainable production and also sourcing profile. This means that there is no deforestation, so no start of new plantations on low carbon stock areas, better land use, no planting on peat, damaged peatlands, and so on and so forth. Of course, these are a major source of greenhouse gas emissions. And therefore, the difference on carbon footprint results between the raw material of RSPO certified and non-RSPO certified is significant. The switch to RSPO ingredients generates a lower carbon intensity. On average, 35% kilogram of CO2 equivalent of palm oil can be avoided simply by purchasing RSPO certified ingredients. And all of our mild surfactants are available as RSPO mass balance certified. And with this, I'd like to hand over to Sidonie.
Thank you, Martina, and hello everyone also from my side. Let me start with a quick overview of our mild and sulfate-free surfactant portfolio that we have investigated for their individual attributes. The intention behind is to provide you with a toolbox containing all the information needed to pick the right ingredient for your formulation challenges. The presentation is structured in order to first give you a high-level summary about the product's most important properties and key characteristics, followed by a more detailed technical overview of our surfactant families, and finally rounded up by one-pagers containing key technical features and sensory aspects for each mild surfactant in the portfolio. In addition, formulators who start to look into choosing the right surfactant for their individual formulation target can find and compare basic physical information such as pour point, surface tension, critical micelle concentration, and also the optimal pH range for the formulation at one glance in this overview. But when assessing and choosing the right surfactant for a formulation challenge, mildness and foaming behavior are additional attributes that cannot be left out from the decision. In order to address this, all surfactants have been analyzed in a sign test to determine their individual mildness, and the respective results can be quickly found in an easy-to-read guide. Again, for each individual product. The portfolio ranges here from the ultra-mild glucotain surfactants to still moderately mild glutamates and isothionates. The next general question a formulation challenge starts with is achieving the exact right foaming profile. So these are also parameters that were assessed in detail. Our trained sensory pen has evaluated all surfactants and categorized them from a very light and airy foam that comes with large bubble sizes that can be found in Glucotain Clean or Hostapon CGN, via a slightly more dense but still fluffy foam profile that comes with Glucotain Care or Hostapon TPHC. At the other end of the scale, we have a very dense and creamy foam profile that is given, for example, by Glucotain Sense and Hostapon CGA. This sums up the high-level overview on the Clariant mild surfactants portfolio that gives formulators a first insight into profiles and characteristics of the individual mild surfactants. With that, I would now hand over to Karina, who will go into more detail with the glucotain family and gives you also examples of 3 individual surfactants.
As mentioned by Sidonie, I will give you a brief introduction to the basic structure of our mild surfactants range. The mild surfactants have been clustered into categories, and each category comes with a basic overview. As an example, you can see our mild glucotain range. The glucotanes are sugar surfactants that provide gentle yet effective cleansing properties. The range covers a spread from airy to creamy foam and results in a conditioned afterfeel. For each glucotain type, we have come up with a short description summarizing the main benefits. The foam is then classified by foam sensory and morphology, giving information on foam buildup, volume, density, skin feel, and so on. This overview is available for all of our mild surfactant classes. As an example, we will provide a deep dive on 3 different surfactants on the next slides. Our first example is Glucotain Care. Glucotain Care is an ultra-mild sugar surfactant with creamy foam and a moisturized afterfeel. On the left side, you can find a brief overview of our findings, like very good color protection performance and allowing the reduction of the use of conditioning agents. In the middle, you can see the key information, like inky and physical form. Glucotain Care is a non-ionic surfactant coming with an active content of 40% and a high RCI of 95%. This leads us to the information on sustainability on the right side, including palm content and so on. The bottom left side shows where Glucotain Care can be found in the foam sensory map in comparison to other surfactant classes. The foam morphology shows the total volume along with the density of the foam. Those results are a combination of our internal foam panel and foam data from crisp measurement. Last but not least, we have collected information directly for formulators, where the optimum pH and CMC, for example, for the development of micellar cleansers, can be found at a glance. Here you can also see that Glucotain Care is preserved with sorbic acid and shows good thickening properties in the mentioned system. Next up is Hostapon CLG. This surfactant has an outstanding foaming power, is suitable for cold processes, and can also act as a co-emulsifier. It is free of preservation and leaves a pleasant skin feel. CLG is part of the glutamate surfactants. These surfactants are anionic and have an RCI of 100%. Major labels include Cosmos and Not True. For more information, please see our Eco-Label guidance tool as linked at the bottom. The foam sensory and morphology show that Hostapon CLG provides a more fluffy and airy foam, but shows yet a pleasant and conditioned afterfeel. On the right side, that you can see that the pH of the surfactant is around 10, nevertheless it can be used in low pH formulations. The last surfactant we want to present today is Hostapon SCI 85. This surfactant comes in a solid format available as chips, powder, or granules. It is very well suited for solid formats and can often be found in scented or combo bars. Due to its hard water resistance, there is no soap scum residue. SEI is part of the isothionates, anionic surfactants with excellent foam height and volume. The foam can be described as airy and fluffy, hence a combination with the before-mentioned Glucotain Care will result, for example in shower gels, with abundant creamy foam and a pleasant afterfeel. SEI 85 is preservative-free and it shows high amounts of foam in the shake foam test. This sums up our 3 examples for today. These one-pagers are available for all of our mild surfactants range and are included in the upload. Now I will hand over to Luciana, who will give you more information on some methodologies and background setups, as well as results.
Thank you very much, Karina. So, Karina explained to us some key technical parameters and benefits that we have evaluated with all mild surfactants of our portfolio. However, we have created or generated more data and will be available to you in order can make easier to you to select the best one that can fit into your formulation needs. For example, to understand foaming behavior, we used 3 different methods. Karina explained to us 2 of them, shake foam and sensory assessment. And then I will explain to you an automatic system that we have used to generate more data for foaming behavior. The Cruise Dynamic Foam Analyzer 100 and the methods that we validated with it. With this equipment, under controlled foam generation environment, it's possible to evaluate some additional details of this foam. In this equipment, through an optical detector, images are taken along the time. And so with a very specific software, we can translate these images into some quantitative values. And quantitative values, we talk about bubble size distribution, maximum foam volume, maximum foam age, and draining along the time. It's well studied that hair care procedures can affect hair fiber properties and so can change its healthy appearance. However, from a hair shampoo, we expect it to clean, remove residues from our habits, routines, and environment without damaging. We know that depending on surfactants used in this cleansing system, plus some level of hair damage already installed in this hair fiber, some negative aspects are seen, as for example, color fadedness, hair surface damage that can take to a dry, coarse, and high frizz hair. We know that aggressive systems can interact more on hair surface and upper cuticle layers, leading to surface damage. And if this hair is already damaged with an exposed cortex, so also changes on color can be evaluated. And to avoid this kind of issue, it's very important to select smart cleansing systems that are mild to hair, so less aggressive, and will keep the healthy appearance. The largest segment of hair color market is the permanent color product, which produce an interesting long-lasting change that persists through everyday habits and practice. With the system, we know that hair serves as a reactor vessel in which small soluble dye precursors diffuse into fibers, and so they are coaxed into reactions that produce larger pigment molecules. However, some color bleeding does occur with the washing cycles, with daily routine, allowing the original dyed color to fade along the time. So what we have done in order to make easier to you to select the system that can make a smart cleansing shampoo, for example. With a validated standard rinsing protocol in a controlled environment, we checked some of our mild surfactants effects on color fadedness. So, through some washing cycles, we evaluated the color fadedness. Changes in this color are evaluated by calculating the difference between the original color and the treated, so along the time, using an spectrophotometer. So another example here is Hostapon CLG. So considering the phone structure, we can see a very small bubble, a lot of bubble per area. It means that the appearance will be a very creamy phone. Now, the hair benefits. For hair care color, after 3 washing cycles, using a solution of 12% of active, Hostapon CLG could keep 28% more color comparing to sodium laureth sulfate. And related to hair smoothness, using the coefficient of friction method, we could see that Hostapon CLG, after 6 washing cycles using a solution of 12% of active content, could be better than sodium laureth sulfate in 80%. So now, the last example, it's the Hostapon SCI 85. What is very interesting in this example is that fits exactly into the concept of waterless system. So bar shampoos, for example. When we check the foam structure, we can see very small bubbles, a lot of bubbles per area. It means that the appearance will be a creamy foam. Now, considering hair care benefits, hair care color. So after 3 washing cycles using 12% of active content, we could see that Rostapão SCI 85 can keep 35% more color than sodium laureth sulfate. Here we finish our journey. We would like to thank you all of you for your attention, audience today with us, and please feel free to send us your doubts, your comments, your needs when we are talking about mild surfactants that can fit into your formulation. Thank you very much.